Well, Meghan McCain gets heated with Joy Behar on The View. Hi, welcome to jail. If you're new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. I'd really appreciate it if you do subscribe and you do click the bell. So she's starting, y'all. She's starting. Watch this clip and I'll come back with some more.
Your mouth kind of slowly drops open, or mine did.
You know, I'm not surprised just because he argues every single thing that's ever happened. He's always been failed. He's the only man that can become president that's angry about it afterwards. So I'm actually not surprised. But I will say he doesn't sound that different than a lot of Republicans I know. 72% of Republicans, according to an NPR poll, believe that the election was stolen. And right now, my big takeaway from the election was that the messenger failed, but the message worked. And now you're seeing a lot of people like Ted Cruz and this whole gang of 12 senators coming together to try and contest the election this week and the election results in Pennsylvania. And I think that the Republican Party has been reincarnated in Trump's image, but they just didn't want him as a leader because it didn't work in the mass appeal. And now all these people, all these senators are fighting to see who's going to take over and take the reign for President Trump. So I'm not surprised by any of this. I don't think he's going to be impeached. I don't think there's going to be martial law. I think President Biden's about to be inaugurated into office and we'll all move on. But there's going to be a lot more of this from Trump going forward, or what got stolen for him and why.
Believe he believes what he's saying.
Well,
I think he believes it.
But I will say it's not, I mean, in 1960, there were more people that voted in Illinois than there were residents of Illinois when Kennedy was elected. Like, election, abnormalities have happened throughout American history. It's just in this case, there isn't evidence to back up it happening.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah.
The challenge is not my problem. It's that he continues to speak of things that they have no evidence of. And when you listen to the way he describes it, he's like, I watched the tapes, we magnified them, the rallies show that we should have more voter, like there's no coherence, there's no rationale to what he's saying. And so sorry.
It's treasonous. It is treasonous. He's trying to stage a coup. And it wasn't surprising, I think, that he thought he would have a sympathetic ear with the Georgia Secretary of State, because you're talking about someone who was, I read that he was in favor of strengthening voter IDs. He also wanted to make sure that voter rolls were clean, which is really just code for purging voter rolls. So I think he thought he was going to find a sympathetic ear. I was surprised that you had people like Mark Meadows and other government employees helping him try to stage a coup.
Well, let's talk about that.
All of this criminal activity.
I don't think he's trying to stage a coup. I think he's ranting and he's pissed off that he's irrelevant right now and Biden's about to take his seat in the office. I think people are taking this way too far. He's a moron. Well, I think that rhetoric's dangerous. Well, I think saying that we're going to have martial law and it's a coup. I mean, Biden, they're setting up, I'm here in D.C., they're setting up for the inauguration right now. Like, there's not going to be martial law and things like that just scare people. And Joy, to your point, who are these people? Who are these people? Are 70 million Americans that voted for Trump. Biden won, but he didn't win by any kind of the landslide that I for one, thought he might have. And I think
he won.
But he did, and it's fair and valid, and I don't disagree. But I'm just saying the rhetoric in the media needs to be more respectful of people, of Trump voters. And I think that's how we got to this place to begin with. And going forward in 2021, I think that we need to be respectful of the 70 million Americans that for whatever reason did not feel that they could, in good faith, pull the trigger for President Biden and Vice President Harris.
Don't you think, Meghan, don't you think a lot of those people are watching Fox and getting their news from other sources other than legitimate sources? Come on.
No,
I
think that's fake news. I'm sorry.
They're getting
I know a lot of Republicans and a lot of people.
Stop. Can't hear anybody.
No, I just think I know people that quietly voted for Trump, that didn't want to be shamed, that don't want to be yelled at, that don't want to be called racist. And I think that when you see this kind of pressure, it should not have been this close. The election should not have been this close. If you're President Biden right now, or excuse me, President-elect, it was. But that's why President Trump is using the insanity that he is, which, again, there's been no evidence to show.
He has lost. He has lost.
Yes, he's lost.
Every time they've gone in, they've lost. And in terms of respect the people who voted for Biden and let him take his place. But because, people always want respect, but they don't want to give it. You have to respect the
give
people who said, we want this change. No, I know you want to give it, but I'm talking about the other folks who don't, who sit around, the 180 Republican senators who are going to disrupt
50.
because they don't like the outcome. This is the bitch of
140.
being a democratic society. This is what it is. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. We lost 4 years ago. Now, he's lost this year. You're not allowed to kvetch and poop all over this. This is not the American way. You don't always like who becomes president. Go ahead.
Biden won by 8 million votes, Megyn. That's not close.
But Joy,
That's a lot of people.
if you're so comfortable, then why is everyone so hysterical about what's happening in Georgia? I'm sorry, but this is a very fractured country. It's very split. I thought it was going to be a bigger win for President Biden. But the idea that it's like, I agree. In the same way that I said to you, just because Hillary Clinton got technically more of the numeral votes, and then, sorry, I'm sloppy today. It's my first day back in 3 months, but less of the Electoral College. I've been saying that to you. I concede President Biden won, or President-elect Biden won in all these ways. But I'm just saying we are a completely fractured country, and to write off, I don't know who these people are that voted for Trump. It's 70 million Americans voted for President Trump.
And I say that a lot of them
demographics have to go both ways.
That's why they voted for him.
I think that's inaccurate. I think that's the perspective of Joy Behar, with all due respect. I mean, I'm ensconced by conservatives and Republicans, and that's just not accurate.
What did you say?
It's just not accurate.
Are you talking so fast? I heard my name, but I don't know what you said about me. What did
I said
you
that's
just
your
say?
perspective. It's the perspective of Joy Behar, and you're a proud progressive leftist, but I am a proud conservative, and I think the idea that the only reason why people voted for President Trump in the last election is because they were lied to, and they're morons who are just being fed information is not only disrespectful, but it's wildly inaccurate. To say that someone is fed bad information is too dumb to think for themselves, so they voted for Trump.
So I personally don't think he's trying to stage a coup. I don't think he's trying to kind of like gather people to start this social media war against the Democratic Party. I personally think about what his niece describes him. I think personally that Donald Trump does not know how to lose. I think that everything was given to him. He's not a self-made man. I don't care what anyone says. He was given the money. He inherited millions and millions, like multi-millions of dollars from his father specifically. And so I personally don't think that he's trying to stage a coup. I just personally think that he doesn't realize that he lost. I still believe that he feels that the election is rigged. Despite the countless times that we did the recount, I also do believe that he's at a mental state where he's a narcissistic, and he personally believes that everything that he wants should always be given to him. And this goes back to what his niece has said, Mary Trump, that he doesn't know how to lose because he's never been a loser. Everything has always been given to him. And that's, in fact, a metaphorical definition of a loser, because when you are given something all the time, to me personally, I find that to be a loser. If I'm given if something's given to me hand in hand multiple times, I'm a loser. Point blank in a period. I didn't work for it. I didn't bleed blood and sweat and tears for the situation. I was just giving it to it. And that's the definition of also being spoiled. You don't know how to live on your own without people doing things for you. And I think at this point now he's becoming this baby, and also being very respectful to anyone, because he's out of options, and that's what he has to do. He's not this manic. In that clip, in that transcript, I didn't think of him as being this manic person or this kind of like dictator type of character, because he's like that when he has multiple options, when he knows he's going to get what he wants. But when it succumbs to kind of like minimal results, he's going to, be pleading for it like a child or like an old man, with nursing home problems. Okay. So like, I do agree with her. I don't think he's trying to stage a coup. I personally feel like the Republican Party is over him. I think they want him gone, and they want someone else in the White House. They're just scared to tell him that. I personally think that people in Fox News, I mean, there are sources out there that said this behind the scenes. they think that Trump is bat shit crazy, you know, and something is wrong with him. But in fairness, they're telling the story, they're sticking to the script, they're saying that the Democrats are wrong, that the election is rigged, and so on and so forth. And some have come forward and stated the facts, which is why Trump got upset and with Fox News and, you know, promoted Newsmax and OWN and so on and so forth. So, you know what? It's over, dude. Get over it. It's over. We did not cry about this back in 2016, although I didn't like either or Hillary or Trump. We didn't do a recount. We didn't do any of that. We just accepted the loss. We accepted the loss when the son, George Bush, got elected. You know what I mean? And the economic depression that happened in 2008, where people who graduated from college couldn't even get a job, you know, because we were going towards a recession, a depression, due to the son didn't know what he's doing, due to the millions of dollars that was spent over useless useless wars going to Iraq. So I mean, it's like, dude, just get over it. You lost, point blank, in a period. You lost. Get over it. Maybe one of your sons are going to be like a Kanye next election, and they're going to run, and hopefully they lose too. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you will be the first to know when I upload. Deuces. Yeah.